fight her.
Oh, big right hand. One punch. That is it. Forget about the count. It is
Females, we have superpowers. Being a woman is a privilege.
Crews-Dezurn! A lot of quick action right away. This is Layla Ali type dominance that Shields has. And Shields on the outside. That was one of the best shots of the fight here.
Wants to change his strategy here, B-Hop.
He wants to be able to display all the things they're talking.
8-pound world champion, and just being a lot even here in the 10th and final.
Her jab, clean shots though. She's not wasting a lot. Which
Dezurn told, ooh, big right hand there from. Oh, nice. Oh.
And I think that's that.
Franchon Crews-Dezurn.
Hi, I'm Susie from Women's Fight News, and today I'm joined by American boxer Franchon Crews-Dezurn, who is the WBO and WBC super middleweight champion. Thank you very much for joining me today, Franchon. And how are you?
I am great. It was a little rainy today, but the sun has come out and I get to talk to you, so I'm happy.
Oh, good. And I wanted to start at the beginning, really, and just ask you how you first got into boxing in the first place.
Well, I was used to fight in school, so I was never shy of, combat. But I had aspirations to be a singer. I was really intrigued with like the Destiny's Childs, and in those times they had Brandy and Aaliyah and Maya, and I was like, hey, I want to be a singer, but I didn't look the part. So I had a friend who told me I could lose like 5 pounds in one day while I was in the studio recording music, and I took him up on his offer, and here I am. I never left.
And so with your amateurs, could you talk me through your amateur career?
Yes, I have a very extensive amateur career. I'm actually one of the most decorated women in USA boxing history. I'm a 15-time national champion, won the US Open 8 times, national Golden Glove 4. They have the PALs. I'm a 4-time Pan Am gold medalist. I won a silver also, and I'm a 2-time world medalist. So,
wow.
Yeah, IEBA world medalist.
Yeah, so a lot.
Yeah, I've been around a while.
And then you had you didn't go into things lightly, because then it was 2016, wasn't it, that you had your pro debut against Claressa Shields? So a tough start.
Yeah, I mean, because of my amateur career and just, I was at a weird point in my boxing career. Anyway, I didn't know if I was training to go for the 2020 Olympics. And then I got the opportunity to fight with Claressa. She didn't have a lot of people who want to take her up on an offer. She said like 18 girls turned her down. And I'm just like, hey, like this needs to happen, because she's done so much in the amateurs, and it's like everybody wants to see. And we have such a vast history in the amateur. I was like, hey, let's do it,
And what was that fight like? Because I know Claressa always says it's the toughest fight.
Yeah, I mean, well, since I fought a steroid cheat, I would say that fight was one of the most, I had to dig down, because I only had less than 2 weeks to train for it, because I was on the couch. I hadn't started my training camp for the US Open, and I had less than 2 weeks to train for it. And she was ready, she was ready. I just knew I had to just fight. So it's a test of will. And it was a very hard fight for me. And I think that fight prepared me for like what I just went through in my previous fight. And always grateful. Our fight still like ranks higher than like title bouts for men and women. So that's a good thing.
And going back to your last fight then, so if we can just touch on that, because obviously what an experience for you, because I mean it's just so you fought Alejandra Jimenez, and then it turned out that her drug results came back with steroids. So
well, I wasn't surprised. I wasn't.
No, because what was the fight like for you from your point of view?
I knew something was weird. First, I'm not stupid because, you know, I understand I was a champion going into the fight. I always make sure I'm paying attention to the landscape of boxing from super middleweight, heavyweight to middleweight, even light middleweight, you know. And I watched her when I was scheduled to fight her in 2019, September 2019. And all of a sudden she couldn't get over here or she missed weight. Yeah, okay. And so when we actually got the fight, I've already done my homework on it. And I looked back a year and that wasn't like the same person that showed up to the ring. She went a heavyweight, which is fine. Like I understand boxing and just, you know, the power of the mind. If you want something and you put your mind to it, you can do it. But you know, the physical wasn't matching up with just the hard work. It's just, it wasn't, you could tell something was off. And from her previous fights, how she was getting hurt by blown up welterweights, because she only fought one true middleweight, super middleweight, before she got me. And her last 3 fights, she had a draw and 2 wins that were not like easy fights for her. And the girls were subpar. And they weren't even super middleweights. And I'm like, okay. But when she got in there with me, it was just like, okay, this is not normal. I'm very confident in my power and my skill. And some of the shots I was hitting her with, it didn't faze her, or she would recover remarkably fast. And I spar with all men. And I know what I can do, basically. And when I was fighting her, it was just different and weird. It was a weird smell. It was just like all weird.
And because I mean, you hit hard. Everybody says who fights you says how hard you hit. Yes. And yet she was walking through some of those shots, wasn't she? Which surprised everybody. Even
with a man, like if you watch, who was it? Like Mayweather versus Mandana. Mandana's a very hard hitter. And he was walking forward, but when he got touched with some you know, valid shots, he even stopped and regrouped and like, let me move my head. She just didn't have any regard. Like it was a false sense of confidence there when I fought her. Like whatever, she knew whatever was coming, she was going to be okay. And how was the whole experience after that? Because obviously it dragged on for months. I mean, how did that affect you? Because obviously it took till June until you got both belts back? Well, I think the end of February, I was able to get my WBO title back. But the WBC kind of, you know, dragged it out a little longer. It was a lot. It was very traumatic. It was a situation that I didn't know, like, how and where I stood. I'm thinking, like, you know, I'm the defending world champion. I've done nothing wrong, but through that process, it kind of made me feel like I was wrong, like I was being punished, or, you know, like I was the one who tested positive. So it was a lot, but hey, tough times don't last, tough people do. And I'm here and I'm still the champion and I'm still winning. So
and I like that about you, because obviously I follow you on social media, and I love the positivity, like you're turning a negative into a positive. And like obviously in the fight as well, what happened with your hair, I like the way you turned that into a positive.
After that hair, I want the belts, and that's exactly what I got. So I mean, you know, people lose their hair. We lose our wig every day in certain situations. You know, it's like Are we going to give into fear? Are we giving into what people think about us? Are we giving into that self-doubt? And you gotta say, F that wig and go for what you want. And that's what I did. And, you know, I have shirts. I'll have some at my fight. And it inspired other people. So it was a powerful moment for me. Very embarrassing at the time, but thanks to my husband and my team. And, you know, it was a very empowering moment for me.
Yeah, it's nice as well that your husband was there. It's nice that you're very supportive of each other.
Yeah, I'm secure, so it's like I'll hate if I was still dating, because there you go. At least I knew I'm in contract with him. He can't leave me.
Oh, that's nice. And what would you say is, we talked about some of the toughest fights. What would you say is like a career highlight for you, sort of a real high moment?
I mean, going pro with Claressa. That's a career high. Of course, winning my belts. But setting the world on fire, that was an amazing night. And then becoming a world champion, then a unified world champion. It just keeps getting better, you know, and I'm just blessed to have those moments. Even though I don't get a lot of credit with women's boxing, that's cool, because I go to sleep well and I know that I'm respected. Like, a lot of people may not like me or like the way I fight, but I'm very got a lot of top athletes, men and women, and I'm just looking to make, you know, more memorable moments in my career.
I've got to say, I've never heard a bad word about you. I think everybody that I come across and communicate with always say how inspiring you are, and no one's ever got anything bad to say.
You know what? I think I'm in a point, because people see like, oh, you're a unified champion, but I think because I have a big personality, and I'm glad my positivity radiates so much. I still want to be respected for my skill in the ring too. Like, I want people to be like, oh, she has a boxing IQ. Like, my last fight was one of the first times I've ever been hurt in the ring like that. And you know, I had to show box, because unfortunately my power wasn't working, so I had to show skill. It was a real fight I had to dig in. But I think going into 2021, my goal is to show my skill, because I'm a very good boxer too.
And with your next fight, so your next fight's on the 2nd of January, and it's on the same fighters, Garcia and against Luke Campbell. So do we know who you're up against yet?
We're working that out. I actually just signed into a partnership with Peter Kahn of Fight Game Advisors. So up until this point, I've been self-managed to this point in my career, and I'm adding him to my team, and he's just helping me so much. Like, I can focus on boxing, and we come together for outside of the ring. But I'm just going to be prepared for whoever. I know it's not a title fight, so that's, you know, whatever. It's a fight is a fight, but I'm just like, whoever they put in front of me, they're going to get beat up.
Well, what with everything you've been through the last year, and with the whole pandemic and everything, it's probably quite nice to have a non-title fight to come back into, just to warm up again and get back into it.
You know what? I don't take anything lightly. My career has not been, you know, regular. From my pro to rematching a person I beat up to fighting a steroid cheat. I don't take anybody lightly. I've always been like that in the amateurs, because that person that you sleep on is the one who upsets you. And I'm in a point, I'm working on my legacy, and I'm making statements, because my ultimate goal is to become undisputed. Yeah.
So going on from there, so who do you want to target in the super middleweight? Who is it? Is it Siderus?
I think it's Eileen Siderus.
Yeah.
Her, most definitely. I'm not the type to call people out. I have a belt, so if they want the belt, they got to fight me. But I definitely want her, because, you know, that was a life-altering moment for me in my last fight. And I don't have time to waste. I want to stake my claim. I'm used to always being a champion, being number one. And it is what it is. She has something that I want. And, you know, that's a fight I'm looking forward to making. And then bigger fights after that.
Yeah, yeah. Because would you change weight division to go and find those bigger fights?
Well, I'm lucky. Women's boxing is growing. There's a couple girls who go up and down, and I would. I have the proper, resources to do it. I could make 160 possibly, and I'll go up to heavyweight. It is what it is. I was a pound for pound amateur champion, so I don't run from work. I don't run from fights.
Because I know that in the UK, everyone's talking about Savannah Marshall. So is that a fight you might like in the future?
Savannah knows who I am. We fought before.
In the amateurs?
She's developing as a pro, and I'm still developing, getting more work. Like I only have 7 fights. 7 minus 1. And that's a fight I like. She's a great fighter. Why not? She knows who I am.
Do you know, I forget how few fights you've had, really, because you've done so much in those fights.
I'm just happy, like, I have the skill and the heart and the tenacity to back it up. I can back up what I talk, so give me the ball, I'm going to shoot.
So an exciting 2021 lined up.
Yes, it is. I know y'all gonna be waiting to see what I wear, so I'm wearing silver and it's gonna look marvelous. So that's one thing I'm excited. I mean, I like getting ready for fights and everything, but that's the most, special part for me.
Yeah, so I was going to touch on all that with how multi-talented you are, because I've literally written a list of everything that you do, and it's a huge list. Because it's, and like you said, designing your fight gear, and you design it for other people as well. Is that right?
Yeah, I've worked with Claressa Shields on 3 occasions. I was grateful to be a part of her history when she became the undisputed champion. That Ali inspired outfit, her and I collabed, and I made that for her. A couple other female boxers. I worked with some men. My husband is my muse, so he's always wearing my stuff. And I want to transition into traditional fashion down the road too. It's a expressive outlet for me, so I try to do all of that.
And recently, I've been seeing on social media all your sort of DIY upscaling sort of projects in your home.
Yeah, that's I don't know. I'm one of those people, I teach myself everything. Like my latest one, I've taken down a wall in my house.
Wow.
And I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I did it. The house is still standing. I'm not hurt. The cat and the husband are okay. And then I've also, what is it? Are you familiar with a vessel sink?
No.
So it's like a sink that sits on top of like a countertop rather than inside the countertop.
Yeah, I think I know what you mean, yeah.
Yeah, so that's called a vessel sink. I've installed one of those. So I'm just, hey, who knows? Who knows what else I'll do? I'll build a house. I don't know.
And of course, you're singing as well. You're singing songwriting.
Mm-hmm. So I have a song. Hopefully I can have it like right after my fight. I can release it.
Wow.
And with my new partner, Peter Kahn, he's really into that, and he wants to explore that. So I'll have more push behind the music part too.
Brilliant. And also sort of public speaking, ring announcing, commentating.
Yeah, I mean, boxing is picking up again, and there's more opportunities, due to COVID. You can't really have large gatherings. So, I think it's going to be more opportunities. 2021 is going to be a better year for everyone. And I actually have a call on Thursday about the public speaking engagements. So I'm just looking forward to a productive 2021. Yeah.
And congratulations as well to your husband on the weekend.
Yeah.
So
because as I said, I make his uniforms, but because he's my husband, I just like throwing it together for him. Like, here, you just wear this. It's okay. but I actually he wanted all black, and he looked good. He fought amazingly, you know, because a lot of people didn't get to fight, especially like if you don't have a big promoter, you might not even get a fight. So for him to push through and make that happen is wonderful, and I'm looking forward to him hopefully fighting on one of my undercards. So.
And it's like I said before, it's just so nice that you can experience this together, that you're there to support each other on for both your fights.
Yeah, he's my heartbeat.
I'm moving on to sort of a hot topic at the moment in terms of women's pay. What's your thoughts on everything? Because there's been a lot said at the moment. There's been a lot back and forwards on social media. What's your thoughts?
My thoughts are, we already start at the bottom of the total pole. And I believe that the same way men have an opportunity to grow their skill, like working with my husband, because I'm on the business side. I've been with him since the beginning of his career, and I saw, you know, what the men make from the beginning. And as they progress and they do well, it reflects in their pay. I feel like with women's boxing, they're already starting very low. And even as they progress to become a champion or interim champion or just a recognized figure, they're growing, their status is growing, but their paychecks aren't. And I don't, that's right. Like, I have 2 belts. If you take any other unified champion, a male, they went from 3 fights ago being regular to now they have a huge mansion, they have a car. Like, they don't have those worries. Like, some women have to still work, you know, 2 jobs. At one point I was working 3 jobs and you know, carrying a boxing career. So I just feel like it should be reward on accomplishments that you achieve. I don't think, I understand the marketing, and it's also like, they always say the business type, you have to sell tickets, you got to be attractive, but if we don't have those opportunities to be seen and we get paid enough to reinvest into ourselves, because that's what I would do. If you pay, you know, if I make good money, I'm I'm saving some, but I'm also investing into my brand, because that's my business. I don't want struggling, you know, so we have those opportunities to be seen and reinvest. I feel like we'll be able to grow. And on top of having the support from the fans, that helps a lot. That's what it is. But if you're getting the perception from the promoters and the people who makes the cards and making us look small, like women don't matter, they're just a secondhand, you know, addition to the card, that's how the people will perceive us. But if you put us on a pedestal, like you have a Katie Taylor headline the card, you have a Claressa Shields, you know, that makes the perception a lot bigger. And then we have to follow up and do our job and putting on exciting shows, exciting fights, which we already do, but we do you know, even more.
Definitely.
So yes, we need our coins, Susie. We need our coins.
Yes. Yeah, it's just interesting to hear everyone's sort of point of view, because there's just been so much talk about it at the moment.
It's just like, women make the world go round, not just in boxing. I'm talking like your mom's a woman, like you came from a woman. Like, you don't think we're worth a couple more dollars? Like, you want a lot of guys who do jobs, whether it's boxing or being a CEO, this, that, and the third, they make sure the women in their lives are taken care of, whether you're trying to put your mom in the house, retire your wife, make sure your daughter has what she needs. And we're out here, and we might be in a better position than our spouses or just be on our own. Why can't we be rewarded for our accomplishments and what we?
And it's the fact that it's such a massive difference as well. We're not just talking a few grand here, are we? This is, you know, thousands and thousands different.
Try to take an initiative and be a leader. It doesn't hurt. It's not going to hurt. It's not going to hurt. Just be a leader and just support the talent. They have it, give it to them. And I'm not saying like every girl should be making this, that, and the third, because everybody isn't on the same talent level. But we should have an opportunity to grow our pay from our accomplishments.
And I wanted to touch upon, I was reading a really lovely article that you did with Gareth Davies did with you in the Telegraph. And it was a beautiful piece. It was beautifully written about your heritage and the Black Lives Matter movement. I just wanted to get you to tell me a bit more about it all, really, because it was just such a lovely piece, how you put it all across.
I don't know what's going on in the UK, but I know over here it's crazy, you know? And it's just the truth. Like, you can't trace it's hard to trace us back to us, like, because of, you know, and it's not, everybody didn't come from Africa. Every person of color, every Black person didn't come from Africa. Mm-hmm. Some of us were already here. It just goes to what were you categorized as, you know? Mm. If you're rainbow white, you're colored. Mm. And like, basically our history was ripped from us, and it's a lonely feeling, and it's a hurtful feeling. Yeah. And it's just, you can't be the problem and solution. And I feel like that's what racism is. It's like you want to treat us bad, you don't like us, then you try to tell us how to feel. Then when we retaliate or act, this is the predicament you put us in. What do we do, you know? So it's, I don't know, you just gotta manage it. I love people for their souls and their spirits, but I'm not blind. I've had people treat me a certain way because of the way I look, or, you know, feel some type of way, but I just make sure the energy I put out is positive, and maybe that might melt some of the ice cold heart they have and show them like, wow, we don't like her Black ass, but she's a cool person, you know? It's just, hopefully it'll get better.
Yeah, no, because I feel like because of the way the world is, and with social media and everything, it's been like a whole world thing. We've all been, you know, we've all seen it in the news. It's been a world thing, not just America thing, which has been nice, because we've seen it all. We know we know what's going on.
Well, just address the facts. If, you know, you could say, oh, you're just saying this, you're just making this up, but the facts are the colored civilization, the Black civilization started a lot of things. And it has, I'm sorry, I suppose I had Bible study today, but we influenced a lot of things, from fashion to everything, you know. You look at museums, maybe in the UK and around the world, they're filled with artifacts from the motherland, you know. We want to be able to celebrate our heritage as well and not be looked at crazy. But we have to figure out what our heritage is first, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm glad I spoke to you about it, because, like I said, it was a lovely written piece, and yeah, I think if other people, I'll put the link actually to it, because it was such a nice piece. I think people should read it. Definitely.
It's like you can do everything right, and I use the example of Serena Williams and Anna, and I can't say her last name. It's on the tip of my tongue. Right? Serena Williams has been consistently creating history, winning. Out of all of that, at one point, she was still making less money than Anna. And Anna wasn't accomplishing half what she did. Anna was positive for performance enhancement drugs. She got a slap on the wrist, where Serena was constantly accused, even though she passed her test. So it's like the double standard sucks. Pay and treat people on their accomplishments, not, you know, the way they look, or because they're a woman, you know?
Yeah. I wanted to ask you as well, what, in terms of, because you've been boxing quite, you know, a long time, who's been your boxing inspirations right from the start to now?
I just fell into this. So, like, I always say I didn't plan to be a boxer. My dad was an athlete, all-around athlete. Grew up with Mike Tyson and Ali. My husband, like, he's one of my inspirations now. The more I became a student of the game. James Berry, he's a local from Baltimore. He was like my first sparring partner. But I think I like everyone for different reasons. Like, you know, Ann Wolfe for her, as females, Ann Wolfe for her rawness. Lucia Riker for her humbleness but savageness. Layla Ali, she has her business savvy. You know, she took what little career she had and made it profitable even after she retired. She took that last name and made it work for her. You know, and the guys, there's so many out there. You know, it's so many out there. And I think anybody who steps in the ring should be an inspiration, because you can lose your life.
Yeah. Yeah. And in terms of advice, now knowing who you are now and what you know now, what advice would you give to your younger self?
Educate yourself, believe in your dopeness, ask questions, protect your peace, never get comfortable, and just go hard. You're worth it. You're enough. You're good enough. That's what I would say.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's everything.
No problem.
Thank you very much for chatting to me, and good luck with your fight. I can't wait to see you back in the ring. Oh, have I lost you? You still there?
Okay.
Oh,
it's breaking up. I'll talk
sorry,
to you soon.
it's breaking up. I just wanted to say good luck with your fight, and I can't wait to see you in the ring.
Thank you. I'll see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Franchon. Thank you. Bye.
All right. Ciao.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please click like now and subscribe. You can also follow me on Twitter and on Instagram. Thank you. Bye.